It is a triangle with a red light in the middle.
It's rotating.
This morning we're going to have a classified briefing on the objects that were shot down over the last weekend. First of all, I don't know why it's classified. I do not believe that any of the information that they've shared or are going to share with us is going to be the kind of thing that has to be kept secret. There's very specific reasons why things are classified, and this doesn't meet the standard. Maybe I'm wrong. We're going to find out. Second is this is pretty extraordinary. Okay, this is not just a curiosity or into weird stuff about UFOs and aliens. For the first time in 65 years, the United States has shot something down over our airspace. Not once, but 4 times. And 3 of those 4 things we have no idea what they are, and people deserve to know what they are. I mean, it's pretty extraordinary. You're launching at least $800,000 missiles off of fighter jets over American airspace. That's a pretty big deal. We need to understand why we did it and what these things are, where they come from, who owns them, who made them, why are they here. And perhaps the explanation is easy, and maybe not. The point is that these are important things that the American people deserve to know and that they deserve to hear directly from the president about. Not a political thing here. Okay, people deserve to know, why are we shooting things down? If it's serious enough to shoot down, it's serious enough for you to know something about it. Look, this is a topic I've been on for a long time, right? Because this is not new. It may sound new, but it really isn't. We have been seeing objects flying over restricted airspace in the United States for a long time now. No one took it seriously because immediately it was about UFOs and flying saucers and aliens. And that's not my concern. My concern is that some other country has developed a capability to monitor and enter our airspace, and that we are not prepared to identify it because they have figured out a way. We're looking for airplanes. We're looking for missiles. We're not looking for objects that don't fit that criteria. And strategic surprise is the way a lot of wars start, and it's the way a lot of wars and conflicts are lost. So these are important questions that need to be answered. But you deserve to hear directly from the president and from the administration, not from spokespeople, and not with double talk and not with unnecessary secrecy. We'll see how this hearing goes.
They are lost. They can't find them. The remnants are in very difficult terrain, low temperatures, lots of inclement weather, and they're looking, but they haven't been able to find them, except for these spy balloons.
When you say that there's been many,
address the nation.
Well, I think that given where we are and the impression that this is some sort of circumstances that's happened in the last couple of weeks, I think at a minimum our director of national intelligence should go in front of the American people and explain what we know, what we don't know, without divulging any classified information. But it's clear to me this is not a recent phenomenon.
then why do you think the administration waited until now to start bringing this to light?
I don't
If this
know.
has been happening.
I don't know.
Roger Marshall said he feels it's like a fear mongering. It's intentional fear mongering.
I don't know. I just know that going into the last 2 hearings, I had the impression that this was something that had happened over the last 2 weeks, and that's not accurate. This has been going on a long time.
Do they give an explanation as to why they're shooting them down now? Why
Nope,
they're deciding?
they did not.
Yeah, some are saying that it's a wagging of the dog to improve approval ratings.
I don't care to speculate on that. I just know that we need some more transparency. I understand the need for national security secrets, but now that this cow is out of the barn, the president and the director of national intelligence needs to address it. They need to explain to the American people, if they know, and I'm not sure they know, if they know they're not telling us, what these things are, who put them up there, and do they pose a threat to the American people? And if the answer is no, how do they know that?
What's your assessment? Do you feel like there's a threat? Learning what you've just learned, do you feel like the threat level is low or not, or high?
The only thing I feel confident saying right now is that if you are confused, you understand the situation perfectly.
Even if you can't tell us what it is. Can you tell us whether they have informed you as to the balloon's ability to intercept communications, whether it be radio communications or telecommunications?
Well, this is public information. The administration has said that somehow our military and our intelligence community were able to jam the communications of the spy balloon in terms of it being able to relay information to other third parties, including but not limited to China. I've read that in the paper, but I haven't heard them say that.
But just that one balloon, or all of the objects have this ability?
Just that one balloon. Let me emphasize. Let me say it again. This has been going on for a long time. We know some of the objects. Others we think we probably missed, and we don't know what most of them are.
Senator, do you feel
So bottom line, you're kind of walking away from this thing still having a lot of questions.
Yes. We have unity and confusion.
Thanks, guys.
Did you learn anything significant beyond what's been reported in the news, do you feel?
Yeah, I learned a little bit. I can't talk about all of it, but what I took away from the briefing today, more than the briefing last week, is that this has been going on for a long time.
How long?
At least 2017, and last week we were told 2019. That's what I took away from it today.
Thanks, guys. Appreciate it.
Lock your doors tonight.
Learn a darn thing.
Did you get any answers as to what those other objects were?
Not at all.
Not at all.
Not at all.
There ought to be more transparency, whether it's from the president in a national address or through some other senior official. The American people need and deserve more facts in real time, not months later, but right now.
You know, I think it is time for the president to address the nation. This is when we need to have an Oval Office address. And he needs to say, this is what we know.
As usual, we had another classified briefing in which we learned nothing that I didn't already know as a member of the Intelligence Committee and Armed Services Committee, or for that matter, that one couldn't learn from reading your newspapers and watching your news channels. That's why I want to stress again, President Biden owes the American people an explanation. President Biden should speak on camera directly to the American people today. Justin Trudeau gave an explanation to the people of Canada over the weekend. Surely we're not in a world where Justin Trudeau is a more decisive and forceful leader than the American president. I appreciate the military coming to brief us. I appreciate the intelligence community briefing Congress in a classified setting. But Americans are worried, they're concerned, they're interested, and they have a right to know why President Biden directed the actions that he did over the last week. So I urge once again President Biden to come today, speak directly on camera to the American people, just as past presidents have in similar moments. Like Ronald Reagan explained what had happened when Soviet Russia shot down a Korean Airlines flight in 1983. Like George Bush spoke to the American people after Saddam Hussein invaded Kuwait in 1990. President Biden needs to explain to the American people why he has been doing what he's been doing.
Senator James Langford here was actually just leaving out from a classified briefing, and no, I can't tell you everything that was said in the briefing because it was classified, and no, I didn't take any documents with me when I left, just for the record on it. The briefing was really about these objects that are being shot down currently by the United States military. Thanks to those folks that are going up, checking things out. But there are a lot of questions that are still unanswered that need to be answered. Biden administration does need to do several things. They need to be able to tell the American people the story of actually what they're shooting down. We need to get details on that as much as possible. Then we've got several other issues. Why now? What has just started? Are these things that they're detecting that they've not detected before that are flying in airspace? They are flying not just over the United States, but they're flying where commercial aircraft fly. So that's a very significant safety issue just for the American people flying. But it's also a significant issue just from a security issue, who's flying over our space. Currently, no one has stepped out and said, hey, United States military, you shot down my thing. And so this is not some permitted commercial use that's up there or some experiment that someone's actually requested to be able to do. This is not a weather something that's out there that someone has asked for. So this is some other entity that's up there flying around in airspace, and it's extremely important that the Biden administration comes out and says, here's what we know.